Here's how to make crazy beats for Yeat's new Lyfëstyle album. First, we want to make a super aggressive melody. Here's the melody I've created. And here's how I created this completely from scratch. Start by taking a monophonic lead from a plugin of your choice and lay down a simple top line pattern. This is just the first, second, third, and fifth notes in the B flat minor scale. Then let's take a bass preset and lay down some bass notes. This is a 1, 5, 6 progression followed by a 1, 5, 6, 4 progression. Now let's take another lead preset and play a pattern that's going to sit in the background. The reason I've chosen these notes is because they sound good with the bass line. The reason they work with the bass line is because these notes are 4 notes above the bass notes in the scale, meaning they are the perfect fifth and blend in with the bass notes to create power chords. For the next few sounds, we're going to take a few different polyphonic synths and play these power chords which we just spoke about. We can then also add a top line melody to this. We'll then also take an ARP, sequencer or gated pad preset and play the same melody with this to add some rhythm and movement. And finally, we're just going to add a few different texture effects. Now let's right click up here to export it by going to render as audio clip. We can then drag this pattern into the playlist. I decided to pitch this up 7 semitones, and also a version which is pitched down 5 semitones, so the 2 different patterns are 12 semitones or 1 octave apart. Then I sent this to mixer track 10 and added some effects. The first one was a gross beat, which played the halftime preset, then a small amount of distortion using the decapitator plugin, a fruity parametric EQ2 to cut out the lows to avoid this clashing with the bass line, and a tape stop which I automated to use this at the end of each verse. Here's how the halftime melody sounds. And here's how the non-halftime melody sounds. Now it's time to add 808s and drums. Let's start by taking an 808 sound. I've used a Spins 808. Now we're simply copying these notes from the chords that we used earlier. Here are our chords. We would simply copy the bass notes of each chord and paste them in here. However, we pitched the melody up 7 semitones after exporting, so we would need to pitch these 808s up 7 semitones as well. Now we can just chop these notes to add bounce and shift notes up and down octaves. We can then also add some other bass sounds and alternate when these play. Here's what I came up with. Remember to add a soft clipper to your master for this distorted clipping effect. Now let's add a simple 2-step hi-hat pattern. And also a super bouncy clap pattern. And finally some open hats and crashes. Oh, and here's a super dope effect that a lot of producers have started using. Double left click and highlight a section of your melody. Then click up here to File, go to Export and Wave File. Then drag this into FL Studio and right click up here and go to Create Automation Clip. You can then automate the tempo so that this increases as you build up towards the drop. Anyway, here's how the final beat will sound. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this content. Also drop any suggestions for my next tutorial videos in the comments below.